prophet Chad Daybell. If you're new to this case, the 55-year-old faces 3 counts of first-degree murder for the 2019 deaths of Tammy Daybell, Tylee Ryan, and Joshua JJ Vallow. Tammy, Chad's wife at the time, died in October 2019 of what was later found to be asphyxiation. Tylee and JJ, the children of the defendant's current wife, were just 16 and 7 respectively in September 2019 when they went missing. 9 months later, in June 2020, both of their remains were found buried in the defendant's backyard. The children's mother, Lori Daybell, was sentenced to life in prison almost a year ago now for her role in her children's deaths, among other charges. Chad and Lori appear to have been convinced that the end of times were approaching and that dark spirits were taking over the souls of various people in their lives. They purportedly believed that the dark spirits were turning people into zombies, and those people needed to be eliminated or killed. We'll jump in today's court action later on this show, but right now I want to highlight some bombshell testimony from Thursday. On the stand for most of the day was Fremont County Detective. He investigated Tammy Daybell's attempted shooting by Lori's late brother, Alex Cox, and the suspicious circumstances leading up to Tammy's death 10 days later. No one suspected Tammy Daybell knew about her husband's doomsday beliefs. However, on cross-examination, chats between Tammy, Chad, and their children were revealed for the first time. Take a listen.
I'll take a look at the next one where it says, during the chats, Mark's camera was not working and Tammy informed him that his camera was cursed and Dad was removing it, right?
Yes.
Okay. In more chats, Mark asked if anything was found or notable in him when he was body coded. I'm not sure what body coded means. Do you have any knowledge of what being a body or body coded talks about?
No.
Okay. Okay. But it was Mark who was talking about the body coding. Would that be your assessment?
Yes.
Okay. And then Tammy responds, you has a lot of weapons, negative chords and curses, plus trapped emotions. We cleared out quite a bit. We'll do that more regularly for you. So second to the last sentence says we cleared it out, right?
Yes.
Would you believe that was Tammy and Chad who were clearing out these negative chords and curses?
In this email, yes.
Okay. And then we'll do that more regularly for you. And again, we'll do that more regularly for you. That implies that it was both Tammy and Chad talking about helping them clear out these weapons, right?
Yes.
Okay. Then we go down to the next one, and it starts with on another chat. Chad said, Mom and I taught 12-year-old Sunday school yesterday. Canyon Scott's actions confirmed he is 4.2 dark. You see that?
Yes.
Do you have any knowledge as to whether Canyon Scott is dead or has been murdered or any investigation into that kind of a matter?
I have no knowledge of that.
Okay. And do you know who Canyon Scott is?
I do not.
Okay. But obviously, it's someone who attends church or attends Sunday school where Chad and Tammy went to their Sunday school, right?
Yes.
So we could presume that it was someone in Fremont or Madison County, right?
Yes.
Okay. And then it goes on, I will enjoy watching his growth to world terror and domination. And then Emma replies, I like Canyon though. I'll slow down. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. The next line is, I will enjoy watching his growth to world terror and domination, right?
Yes.
Emma replies, I like Canyon though. Tammy and Chad reply, unfortunately, he's already influencing Will Dowling. Who's Will Dowling? Do you know?
I do not.
Okay. Then Mark goes, I like Jose, and I can't pronounce that last name, Ojeda also. Then Mark says, darkness is interesting. And then Tammy and Chad both say, maybe they are influencing you too. They are charming, right?
Yes.
So we don't have any information about Jose Ojeda or anything about him, any criminal activity associated to his demise, right?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay.
Okay, let's break this down. I still have with me Serena Townsend and Katherine Lizardo. Katherine, the fact that John Pryor brought this up, what is he trying to show? This conversation, it's the first time we've heard that the children, Chad's children and Tammy, may have had the same sort of religious beliefs. Obviously, they all belong to the Church of LDS, but it sounds like for the first time we are hearing that perhaps Tammy knew about this dark and this light, or perhaps the kids talked about it with her. What are your thoughts about this? What's Pryor trying to show?
Well, what they're trying to show, one, is for the jury's sake to find out if the entire family believed in the same belief. And here, with those emails and with this detective's testimony, it shows that, yes, Tammy, the victim, was also believing the dark and light teachings that Chad was teaching everyone else, which is not surprising, because if he's teaching that to others, highly likely that his family believed in that as well. And another important reason why this is important is because when Tammy Daybell died, what Chad was saying, that he had to ask one of their sons to help him bring her up, because Chad alleged that she fell off the bed. So he asked one of their sons to carry her on the bed. And all of that information comes up as to why the children don't want to cooperate with the police in terms of test some of the statements that they required from them, and that one of the daughters even said she did not want her mother to be autopsied because she didn't want her mother to suffer that kind of treatment in terms of autopsy because of their religious belief. But we later found out the autopsy revealed she was asphyxiated.
Right, I think that's a really good point. Serena, one of the things I'm thinking about, though, is this could potentially hurt the defense, in my opinion, because even though Tammy may have known about this light and dark, and even though she may have been talking to her children and to Chad about this, does it mean that she was on board for the killings? And as a matter of fact, she herself died. Does he want the jury to think that she was okay with that?
Right. I think that the defense is trying to say that if Tammy was okay with it, then Chad doesn't have a motive to kill Tammy. And I think that might be the angle that they're trying to take. Well, you know, Tammy was on my team. We were believing the same things. This isn't me running from Tammy and eliminating her so that I could have a happy life with someone else who understands me. Tammy and I were in this together.
That's a good point. He may be summing up on that exact point. All right. Let's hear how the state responded to this email correspondence on redirect.
You were shown some emails that you reviewed in the last exhibit by defense counsel. And there was some indication in there about people being light and dark. Do you recall that?
Yes.
Through your investigation, did you learn who it was that would label people as light or dark?
Chad Daybell.
You were also shown an email about Chad needing to do some work on Mark's camera. Do you recall that?
Yes.
And the indication was Chad was the one that had to do that work, correct?
Yes.
And I think specifically it referenced the camera was cursed.
Yes.
Mark wasn't at the Daybell residence. That Chad had labeled some 12-year-olds as dark. Do you recall that?
Yes.
You were asked if those kids are still alive to the best of your knowledge. Are they?
To the best of my knowledge, yes. I hope so.
Were those Lori's minor children?
No.
Were they obstacles to Chad and Lori being together?
No.
All right, as a side note, Katherine, I think this investigator isn't really enthusiastic about being on the stand. But my real point here is the prosecution is making a good point. Chad labeled this 12-year-old as dark, but never said anything about killing the 12-year-old. I mean, was this effective on redirect?
I'm not so sure in terms of for the state. However, it does make me feel the answer and the questioning makes me feel that Chad Daybell sounds crazier than it seems. I mean, we've heard so many other weird, ludicrous things that they were believing in. But when the prosecutor was phrasing her question as he labeled 12-year-olds as dark, that in itself sounds so insane and makes you believe that, yeah, Chad will do this, label them. And the labeling, who labels it, is a very important question because the prosecutors have used that same question to other witnesses. And it's important because this is Chad Daybell's trial, not Lori Daybell, who's already been tried and convicted. They have to show that it was Chad who was labeling people light or dark, and afterwards, a consequence happens. Now, I'm glad the 12-year-olds are still alive, but the detective is not exactly sure. But we've seen other people he labeled that ended up actually suffering either dead or had severe consequences in their community.
Yeah, exactly. Good point there. All right, we have to take a quick break, but don't go anywhere as we switch gears to Atlanta, Georgia, bringing you the latest in the Young Thug racketeering trial. We'll be right back.